Have you ever walked into your Minecraft closet and thought to yourself, there's not a lot of options in here? Well, never fear, because Minecraft just added 4,000 new armor variants. Now, a sane person would just collect their favorite trims and favorite colors and get a nice new outfit. However, my therapist just diagnosed me as chronically insane, which means I should do the opposite and get every single armor piece that is capable of existing, which requires an astronomical amount of resources, the least of which being 10,000 golden ingots, 4,000 ancient debris, and over 40,000 diamonds, which, by the way, is a new world record. And that's not even to mention the build we're gonna be making to house all the armor sets and all the crazy farms we're gonna need to make the machines to get the other resources and... Now, the first step to collecting every armor set is going to be collecting every armor trim, which requires flying thousands of blocks into new 1.20 chunks. Now, there are 16 trims in total, and the first two are located in the nether. Alright, so the first armor trim has a 4.8% chance of spawning in a fortress, and the other one has a 4.8% chance of spawning in a bastion. I guess we'll be starting with the fortress. Now, there are up to 20 chests that can spawn per fortress, which means there's pretty high odds that I get one. Well, 1 out of 16 acquired. Maybe this won't be as hard as I thought it would be. This was a mistake! This was a big mistake! I hate bastions! I'm sure they weren't his parents. Oh, hello there. All right, and now I just need 14 more trims. What? Now, after 4 hours of searching for the next trim, I was getting bored, but I was instantly distracted by some good luck. Ugh, what an awful chest. Ooh, a dune trim. Oh, 2 of them. And from then on, everything began to change. Ooh. Yes, no. Another one. Wondered how that happened. With 5 out of the 16 acquired, I stumbled onto one of the new trail ruins from 1.20. Now, according to the wiki, ruins can contain up to 4 of the trims that I need. Now, what you're supposed to do is delicately dig around, find some suspicious gravel, and gently brush it and hope for a trim. Ooh. But I was curious what the trail ruin looked like, so I excavated the entire thing. I need to, repair my tools. Now, was that completely unnecessary? I think not. But now that the structure is completely revealed, getting the trims should be easy. Garbage. Who puts glass in gravel? Ooh, a Wayfinder armor trim. Now, after digging up more garbage than a raccoon, I was only able to find one more of the trims, but the final one eluded me. Eluded. I couldn't find it, so I had to scurry off and find another trail ruin, and after a few more hours, I didn't find one. But I did find a jungle temple. All right, now apparently you can find a wild trim in here. You can also get shot, so I should probably be careful. I can never remember what order... I'm a genius. Break the... Call me James Bond or... Oop. And now... it was a waste of time. Wait, doesn't this place have a secret chest? Just desecrating a holy temple, don't mind me. Yes, and 2 of them as well. Now that I've made my contribution towards ethical exploration, just desecrating a holy temple, we still need to find another trail ruin. Hello, ancient civilization. I will now desecrate you. A little desecrating later. Oh, this is the final one we need. Now, so far, all we've done is go through people's graves to extract their belongings. Now we actually have to face a challenge. You see, the rest of the trims are hidden away behind bosses or entities, and they get mad when they just smell you. So we're gonna have to be a bit more careful. Now, apparently the ward trim is down here, but death is also down here. So I should not do that. Whoa, this is less than ideal.
Hello there.
For those of you wondering how this happened, I'm not quite sure either. Oh, nice. Okay, we can finally leave this horrid place. There's another trim down here, and it only has a 1.2% chance of spawning? Ooh, oh, it's the trim. Crap, I'm dead. I'm soon not to be alive. No, the trim despawned. A few angry wardens later. Oh, not again. Not again, it's coming. Got it. Okay, so we have 4 trims left before we have the monumental task of collecting, what, like 40,000 diamonds? Oh, I'm not gonna be sleeping for a week. Excuse me, just need to murder you and steal your things. Ooh. Now the next trim I was aiming for is found at the bottom of the ocean. And you may be thinking to yourself, well, that seems nice. A little swim, see some coral, and just relax after all your hard work. Wrong. Try getting constantly paralyzed, nearly dying from being eaten by what looks like an enormous shark with a Shrek eyeball, losing my armor, drowning, spending 5 hours jumping through 4 monuments, all the fine. Oh, that wasn't so bad. Okay, 2 trims left. Somewhere down here is... Whoa, is this how you get into the stronghold? Now, the nice thing about the eye trim is that it has a 100% chance of spawning in a library. So even I can't screw that up, right? Right? Ah, nice. Now, the last one's located in an end city. It should be fairly easy to get. Stop it! You're heading me out of here. Ah, finally. Now that we've completed an entire Shulkercraft video in about 5 minutes, it's time to start on the hard part. You see, now we have to collect every resource that each trim can use, each armor set for the resource, and the supplies to build the armor sets, not to mention all the diamonds we're gonna need, but, so I just did some research, and I think I wildly underestimated how many resources this is gonna take. So there are 16 smithing templates that we've collected, which means one chest plate can have 16 different designs on it. But you can also choose from 10 different colors by combining it with gems and ingots. So that's 160 different types of chest plates you can get. But that's just chest plates. You also have to do all that math again for helmets, leggings, and boots. So there are 16 designs in 10 different colors. Each complete set can have 160 versions. But since there are 4 pieces in a set, that requires 640 templates and 64 of the 10 different resources. But that's not all. There are 6 different types of armor. So not only do I have to get 160 full sets of netherite armor, but between netherite, diamond, iron, chainmail, gold, and leather, you need another 3,840 templates and 400 of each resource. But the astute among you may be asking, why are there 7 armor stands? After all, there are only 6 armor types. Because for some reason, Mojang put turtle helmets in the game. Nobody even uses them. Why do they exist? No one even knows how to make them. Now, I need you to understand something. It took me 24 hours to get like 36 of these templates. And we need 4,000 of them. That means if I went to search for them all, it would take 4 months of playing 24/7. When am I supposed to sleep? Does Mojang think I don't have a life? Well, I don't. Now, thankfully, we can actually make the trims by copying an original. However, that requires 7 diamonds each to create, plus all the diamonds to use as trim colors and to make the armor itself. That means in total, if we want every trim for every set, we need 40,560 diamonds. That's insane! The world record is like 18,000. And that took them months! How am I supposed to do double that in like a few weeks? Well, better get to work then. I think I want to start with gathering the materials to make the armor before I worry about all the trims. So let's start with turtle helmets, since they seem to be the easiest of the bunch. To get the helmets, we need to breed 2 turtles together. So this is 100% a humane farm. All right, so we've AFK and bred them for a while now, and I think we should have enough skewed. On the point of humane farms, let's set up an ethical cow farm. Now those vines will allow me to breed a near infinite amount of cows without them suffocating, but I'll explain why later. For now, enjoy your wonder block. If you hadn't guessed yet, it's time to build an ethical iron farm for them too. Am I a bad person? Okay, so we've got the first 3 resources underway, but we currently have nowhere to put the armor when we make it. Now we could put all the armor sets in the Cherry Blossom Village. Or maybe the Colosseum. Yeah, maybe not. You know, this project is massive enough, it needs its own build, and I think I know what I want to make. This. Now, do I know how to make that? No. First, we need to find a spot to put it. Ooh, these mountains are really close to the Cherry Village and will give it like a Greek temple feeling. All right, now let's outline an area. So I built this little outline inside the temple, and I think this is where I'm gonna place the armor stands. We'll have 7 different spots for each of the set of armors to be displayed, but I'm running into a bit of a problem while I set this up. Snow, there's so much snow. Aw, come on. Why does it keep snowing? Now you may be asking, well, if you didn't want it to snow, why'd you build the temple on freaking Mount Everest? And my answer to that is shut it, nerd. I have no solution for this. I'm just complaining. I think that we need to take a little break from the temple and focus on the 40,000 diamonds we're gonna need for all the trims and the diamond armor. I don't really know how I'm gonna get this many diamonds, so let's just go mining for an hour and see how many we get. Then we can do the math on how long this will take if we mine for them all. Yeah, nope. All right, now it's time to see how many diamonds we got from that hour of mining. This is gonna be fun. 251 out of 40,560, which is 0.6% of the way there. Yay. While I work on a plan to not spend the next few months of my life in the mines, let's see how many trims of armor we can make. Not a lot. Well, let's put them all in the turtle helmets that we have to see how many we can get. You know, that's not looking half bad. But it's kind of hard to see all the rows of armor stands. You'll probably do some sort of staircase to showcase the armor a little better, but I'll save that for later. Now, to make all the rest of the trims, we're not only gonna need diamonds, but also all the blocks for copying the trims. Now, each trim requires a different kind of block to copy it. And on top of that, we also need all the resources to make all the colors for each armor set. So, while I work on a plan to get all the diamonds and netherite we're gonna need for the later parts, let's work on getting these easier resources first. And the first resource we need are copper ingots. That was fairly easy. While we collect these resources, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Axolotl, I'm going to steal you. I will name you Jeff. So we not only have to get resources for all the trims and armor, but also for the temple we're making, and this is gonna be a pain. You see, because the mountain has snow everywhere, I don't want to make the temple white or else it's just gonna blend in. So instead, I think it's better to use blackstone as the main block, which in ordinary circumstances isn't the end of the world. But do you know where the best place to find blackstone is? The freaking basalt deltas. You know what else is in the basalt deltas? Death. Death is there, whether you accidentally fall into lava or eaten by a magma cube. Take your pick. Maybe a piglin will even wander over and hit you with a sword. So that'll be fun to mine 50,000 of those blocks. In the end, though, I think it's gonna be worth it. Okay, so now that we have all the materials required to make the trims, minus netherite and diamonds, but we'll worry about that later, I think we should do some more work on the temple, so we'll have a spot to put the armor when we actually get it. However, before we can go and mine out an entire biome of basalt deltas, we're gonna need a way to bring all the blocks back, which means I think we need a few more shulkers. Now, I could just make a shulker farm, but I don't need that many of them. And getting them manually isn't that bad, so I think it's a better option. Here I come. No, you don't. No, you don't. Oop, it's coming back. It's coming back. It's coming back. Yes. Drop me. Drop. Thank you. Oh, no. No. This is not what I wanted. I mean, it kind of is, but... Oh, here I come. Smack. Huh, you left. Okay, didn't know they could do that. Now you might be thinking, Mudflaps, you have a giant brain. Surely you didn't do that painful way of gathering shulkers for hours and hours. Surely. Okay, we've got the shulkers. Now we need to go and mine 50,000 blackstone. While you're watching this epic montage of mining, you should subscribe. Okay, we need to figure something out. We need 40,000 diamonds and a few thousand ancient debris. Obviously, we've tried mining, and I don't want to be on my computer for months to do this, but I don't know a way yet that we can get that many diamonds and ancient debris. The world record took months to get half of what I need. That means nobody on Earth has found a faster way to do this. So I'm watching this tutorial on this diamond bore. There's just one small problem. This thing is gonna take like 6 weeks to be able to do. And I don't know about you, but unless you want this video to come out in 6 more weeks, I gotta figure out a way around this. So I have no idea what I'm gonna do, but I just hope it kind of comes to me as I'm hitting these blocks, you know? Sparks the idea. Any second now. I get an idea any second. I have no idea, no plan, and no more chocolate milk. But I do have a buttload of blackstone, netherrack, and shroom lights. And you know what that means. We can build the temple to house the armor that we have no idea how we're gonna get yet. What are the chances we never figured this out and just don't post this video? Okay, so this is the game plan for the temple. I'm gonna divide it into two parts. The flooring with the armor stands, and then the walls and roof. To begin though, we need to smelt down some blocks. You see, although the main build is gonna be made out of blackstone, I want some nether brick around the edges to accent it. So we're gonna smelt down all this netherrack and hope it's gonna be enough. This could take a while. I just ruined the song, didn't I? But on the bright side, check out all the nether brick. All right, now it's time to get building. I'm gonna start by filling in the perimeter with blackstone. Even though I'm taking inspiration from a Greek temple, I wanna merge it with a more scary theme. And to do that, I'm also taking inspiration from a mythological build called the Temple of Medusa. For the floor, I'm beginning with a glowstone layer for lighting, but I ran out pretty quick and had to go to the nether for a few hours to get the rest. To showcase the armor better, I've designed this stair pattern so you can see all the hundreds of sets at the same time. To cap it off, I'm using shades of gray glass over the glowstone. It creates this mist illusion and reflection effect for the staircases that hold all the armor sets, which I don't have yet. I forgot we still don't have a way to get the 40,000 diamonds to make all the diamond armor and duplicate the trims. Okay, I think the best place to start is by stealing other people's ideas. So the old record leader Carves, he tried building this redstone machine that, it blew up and didn't actually work. He ended up just going back to manually mining the diamonds, but I wonder if I could rebuild it if I could get it to work potentially. So I have a simple version of what he was using. I've actually used it before when I built the Cherry Blossom Village to tunnel through a mountain, but I only used two. Let me show you how it works. So the TNT is launched using a phantom duplication glitch. It's similar to our infinite cobblestone farm or the TNT cannon we got to shoot the warden across the world. The TNT lands on this ancient debris and explodes. Now, ancient debris has a much higher blast resistance, allowing it to be pushed by a piston while also not being affected by TNT. So Carves, the old record holder, I'm calling him the old record holder even though I haven't beat him yet. He tried making like 30 of these things together, but they kept breaking on him. If I could somehow solve the issues he had, I could potentially pull off the impossible and get all the diamonds I need. I mean, after all, I've solved a lot harder problems than this. This is nothing compared to what we faced in the previous videos. I mean, I literally beat Minecraft in the void. I can do this. Oh, it's moving. It's moving. No. Why is it blowing up? I don't understand redstone. The slime won't move. I don't get it. Why did it go the wrong way? Where did half the machine go? Come on, come on. Yes, yes. No. No. If I can't figure this out, there's only one man who can. Well, it's a little awkward. All right, plan B. Calling my roommate.
What do you want, you peasant boy?
I have issue.
Don't worry, I'll solve it.
I need 40,000 diamonds.
Oh, never mind. Can't afford it. Sorry.
Oh, Minecraft diamonds.
Oh, we'll just go mining.
Oh, idiot. The world record's like 20,000 in 3 months, and I need to double that in a week.
How the frick is that supposed to be possible?
I don't know. That's why I'm calling you.
I don't know how to do that.
Well, what good is your IQ if you can't even get me Minecraft diamonds?
Why would I even need Minecraft diamonds?
Because I need Minecraft diamonds.
Oh, is that my problem?
Because I need your help. A short while later, if you do it, I'll buy you a cookie.
Fine.
Okay, so while Matthew works on a design that I can build in my world a little bit later, I'll work on the next thing that I need, gold. You see, we need to make over 100 sets of golden armor, plus gold is used as a trim color, so we need it for that too. So you know what that means. It's time to build an ethical gold farm. Also, that igloo was just in a tree. It was a tree glue. Get it? Tree house, tree. We've completed an entire cookie video in 10 seconds. We need to do some smacking to get all the gold we need. And by smacking, I mean dismemberment. A few thousand dead piglins later. So I've decided to set up an auto sorter to filter the junk out and just keep the golden nuggets. Okay, so that should be enough gold. But speaking of which of supplies you get from murdering things, let's check our ethical cow farm. I think I broke the cows. Now, as much as I want to just hit all the cows at once, I can't. You see, the vines I placed in earlier prevent the cows' hitboxes from interacting. This prevents the cows from suffocating in the walls and lets thousands of them build up. However, if I were to hit them, then their hitboxes would interact mid-air and cause something like a cow fountain to happen, which would be cool. No, I need to kill them with a looting sword. To prevent them all from sailing into the heavens, we're gonna place some slabs over their heads. What the frick? And now for the most satisfying parts. Okay, well, that was a bit lame. Kill. Dude, that's literally enough meat to feed an entire alien race. Now that I've ended world hunger, it's time to move on to the next thing. Okay, while Matt is still working on the diamond machine, let's make all the armor sets that we can with the supplies we've collected to see where we're at. Is more armor than I'll ever use in a lifetime. Okay, so now that we've gotten done the All right, well, to get our diamond boar, we need cookies. So it's time to head to Subway. What is noise?
Editing my stupid video.
Why?
Because, Nathan, I spent $30,000 making it, and so I have to edit it at 2 a.m., so that'll be good. Also, you're awake at 2 a.m., so
All
shut
right,
up.
well, did you figure out my diamond problem?
Yeah, so, okay, two things. Number one is you don't need 40,000 diamonds, you need 32,000 diamonds. And the other 8,000 that you need to make all the diamond armor, you can just trade for with villagers.
Oh, nice.
So that's quick. The other thing is I took all the concept builds that you gave me and made a big world eating machine that can get you all the diamonds you need in only 36 hours, which is great, except for the fact that it is extremely massive, costs a lot of resources, including 7,000 ancient debris. Which is more ancient debris than you need to build a beacon, but you're already getting 4,000 ancient debris to get all that netherite armor crap that you need, so whatever plan you have to do for that, just do it twice.
7,000 ancient debris? There's no way I have time to get that. I still have to make all the farms to make the enormous diamond boar. It needs like 20,000 slime blocks, plus the voyage trading, and I haven't even finished the temple yet. Now, there's only one solution to this. Yeah, so about that. I haven't really come up with a way to get the netherite yet, so I was wondering if you... Alright, well, before I even consider starting to build this massive machine to get all the diamonds we need to collect the mountain of resources required to build it. And first on that list is slime blocks. In total, we need 21,000 of them. Dear God. So you know what that means. It's time to build an ethical slime farm. First, we need a lot of stone. Then we need to put Fortune 3 on our axe. You see, a big part of this farm centers around mushrooms. And Fortune 3 will allow us to gather the maximum possible from those mushroom tree thingies. I'm using Il Mango's design for this instead of coming up with my own because I don't want to. Now, like I was saying earlier, the way this farm works is actually quite ingenious. In a swamp biome, slimes spawn dependent on the moon cycle. No moon cycle means no slimes, full moon means 100% of slimes will spawn. Now, this farm utilizes mushrooms, though, to get the max amount of slimes during the different moon phases. You see, normally a big old box like this would spawn all sorts of mobs, like skeletons and zombies, which we don't want. But mushrooms emit a light level of 1 when they're placed, and hostile mobs require a light level of 0 to spawn. However, slimes are an exception and they can spawn up to a light level of 7. So by putting mushrooms everywhere, it allows for only slimes to spawn inside of our farm. Interestingly enough, if you tried to use red mushrooms for this, it doesn't work. Now when the slimes spawn, they get enraged that I put iron golems inside of their house. So they charge full speed at them and then die on the magma blocks. Hoppers below collect the slime and voila! You have an infinite killing machine. Ethical. Now, we need to wait for around 80,000 slime balls to turn into blocks. So. Okay, well, it's been a while, so now let's check on the supplies. That's a lot of balls. All right, so that's the last of the 12 shulkers we need, and that's one resource crossed off the list. But I think I want to take a break from these farms and focus on something a bit more fun. Getting all the diamond armor we need to finish off the armor sets. You see, at first, I was gonna make all the armor from the diamonds that this diamond boar would mine up, but Matt pointed out that we can trade for diamond armor from villagers, which would be much faster. And to maximize the trades, we're gonna use something called a void trader. I'll explain what it does in a minute, but it needs to be built in the end, so... Well, wait. I think we're gonna build it off of the end island a little bit. Whoa. Nope, stay back. Oh, this isn't good. Nope. Water. Oh, how am I alive? Suck. Nope, go away. You know what? Okay there, no more places for the Enderman to spawn. All right, so now that we've completed an entire Mog Swamp video in 10 seconds, what the heck is this?
I'm trying to collect every combination of armor in Minecraft.
What? Recrap already did it? And he made 3 videos out of it? Why am I not milking this? Wait, the first video came out before 1.20? How's that even possible? He died? It's not even in hardcore. What kind of build is that? Let's start on our void trading for the diamond armor. The first thing we need to get is a villager into the end. Now there's no end island to put him on anymore, but might have been a slight oversight. We'll just have to build something for him. Along the way, I found this really sick pond thingy in a cherry blossom grove. Let me know if you have any ideas on what we can use this for a bit later. Hello, villager children. I'm here to steal your father or mother. I believe in equal opportunity here. I'm not really sure who this is, but they're now kidnapped. And I shall get them all the way to the portal. This could take a while. All right, so we're directly over the end portal, and now we gotta figure out a way to get him down into it. Don't look at me like that. It's a beautiful new home. Now, let's build you a place to exist. See, they like their new home. Now, let me explain how this thing works. First, we need a zombie. Then we'll drag him into the end to negotiate with the villager. Fine, this will lower how many emeralds it's gonna take per trade. Now, we need 2 things from him. We want him to trade iron for emeralds and emeralds for diamond armor. He doesn't trade iron for emeralds. I just spent an hour on this dumb village. Okay, so apparently not every villager has that trade, but not to worry, this dude does, I think. Yeah. Holy biscuits, that's insanely cheap. Now we employ the void trading technique. You see, first we open up the trade window. Then the water pushes us through the end gate into a new chunk. However, our trade window is still open. We can swap our iron out for emeralds at a 1-to-1 ratio because of the zombie. Once we do that, it initiates the water to push us back through the end gate. Since we did the trade in a new chunk, our villager was left in an unloaded chunk, and as a result, he doesn't think we've traded with him, so our trades never run out. We can literally do this forever. Now at this point, you may be asking, was it necessary to remove the entire end island to do this? No, it was not. I simply just don't like Endermen. And I needed a few thousand endstone for the diamond boar anyway. Okay, now we just need to trade for the chain and diamond armor and fill up the platforms in the temple. Now, the astute among you may have noticed that our chain mannequins are missing their pants and their heads. That's because our armor only sells chest plates and boots. We, killed the one that sold leggings and helmets. It's a slight oversight. So, we need to get those too. Hello, everybody. Just here to trade. No kidnapping will be happening. There we go. The armor sets are all collected, except for netherite. But not to worry, I'm gonna procrastinate it even longer and instead focus on finishing the temple because I'm sick of all this snow falling while I'm here. First, we should finish filling in the base of this place. I wanna try... Yeah, that little red is a nice accent. Ugh, I'm just realizing how friggin' huge this place is gonna be, but we got this. Now, I want this building to have a lot of detail, but the first thing we need to build are the walls. I find it a lot easier to make these huge slabs first, then figure out the detail to add on to them to add depth later. Okay, so I think the first thing I want to add detail to is the interior of the build. If you've seen my builds before, I kind of suck at interiors, so it's time to steal some designs. I've always been fascinated with like hieroglyphics and the weird shapes found in Egypt, so I think I'm gonna try and use that style in the interior and just see how it turns out. It kind of looks randomly placed, but I like how it came out. Now, something that's important to all these Greek-type temples are the pillars, but I didn't want to make any old pillar this time. So I actually stole from a more Egyptian-themed build I found on Google for this. Now, the final piece is the roof. I think for this, I want to go back to the original design from the Temple of Medusa. This ended up being one of the trickiest parts. Since it was on such a massive scale and so high up, it was really annoying to build, but eventually when I got it down, all that was left was to fill in the roof. And then we were finished, the temple on the mountain. Okay, so now the temple is done, it's time to get our netherite armor and all the debris we're gonna need to make the diamond bore. All 6,000 of it. And to do it, we need honey. Well, to be more specific, we need beehives, and to find the frick. That was fine. Now you may be thinking, why do you need bees to get netherite? And the answer to that is quite simple. You don't. You need honey. And with honey, we can make honey blocks, which are a crucial component to the machines that we need to get our netherite. All right, now that we got all the hives, it's time for our favorite thing, an ethical bee farm. The principle of the farm is quite simple. The bees will extract the pollen from the flowers outside their nest. When they return to the hive, it'll activate the dispenser with bottles. The dispenser will fill up the bottle with honey, dropping it to the ground where a hopper will pick it up from below.
Nice.
With the farm going on in the background, we can focus on the other resources that we need. And one of those main ones is redstone. And I don't know about you, but unless going to the mines and mining over 100,000 redstone ores sounds appealing, I vote we don't do that and instead bring a villager who volunteered for the position to the end and trade him emeralds for redstone. Now, because of the sheer amount of redstone we need, we're gonna need to AFK at our iron farm for like at least 10 hours. So... All right, now that that's over with, it's time to sit and trade for about 10, 12 hours. I link below the footage in the description because I tried to speed it up for the video, but it was so fast and flashing that I'm pretty sure I'm gonna give someone a seizure who has epilepsy if I try and play this footage on screen and speed it up. So you can just go down there and look if you care. All right, we've done it. We have all the redstone we need for the netherite and the diamond machines. And as a bonus, we got carpal tunnel with it. Yay. All right, so we have everything to make the netherite machine, but we still have one more problem. You see, the machine that we're gonna be building has thousands of complex parts. And if a mob were to, let's say, shoot a fireball at it, I'd be screwed. So the best way to deal with this is to stop every mob in the entire world from existing. Now, since I'm not God, and I can't turn the game mode to peaceful, we're gonna have to use something called a mob switch. You see, Minecraft has a max number of mobs that can be spawned at a time. However, when you leave the area that has all those mobs, they'll all immediately despawn and then respawn in other places, attacking you again. So to circumvent that issue, we need to get creative. But first things first, we need to fill the mob cap, and the easiest way to do that is with silverfish. However, my current stronghold doesn't have a silverfish spawner. So... If I fall down there right now, I will die. All right, so now that the mob cap is filled, it's time to leave. But to do that, we're gonna use a nether portal that we've turned into a chunk loader. Similar to how we made the warden switch in the first video. You see, every player has a radius around them that mobs can spawn and exist in. When that radius moves, the mobs despawn that are outside of it. However, if you leave the world using a nether portal, the game can't update the radius, so it leaves it exactly where it was. And now if I enter the overworld from a different spot, the old spawn circle will stay where it was, keeping the mob cap filled. Why are there still mobs spawning in here? Oh, so apparently mob caps are per dimension, which actually makes a lot of sense. So each dimension needs to be filled separately. So we need to reconstruct the same design in the nether, except this time, instead of silverfish, we're gonna use an unborn child to bait zombies into the nether. Ethical. I had to turn off the overworld mob switch for this to work, but I'll turn it right back on after. All right, and with that, we have neutered the nether and the overworld, and it's time to begin the netherite mining. Well, that is after I get like 10,000 sand. Okay, now we're ready. Now, you're probably wondering how one gets 5 or so thousand ancient debris. And well, so am I. But good thing Matthew figured it out. All I have to do is build the machines and clear out some areas for them to be placed. It can't be that bad, right? I need to clear 120 by 50 chunks? Dear God. Oh, just 3 chunks tall. Are you kidding? To mine all this ancient debris in the nether at this scale, we need mining machines. But to make them, we need to clear an area, which means lava, blocks, everything needs to go. All right, the first thing we're gonna make is what I like to call a catapult of death. This machine flings TNT in front of it and blows up everything in its path. Including you, so I should be careful. Now, because this machine is so big and so hard to render, trying to show the footage right now of clearing this area out will either cause seizures, or it will just look like a big blur. So we're gonna skip through the part where the machine's actually mining, but never fear, dumb-de-door. I've linked all the footage in the description if you wanna go and cause your eyes some pain. However, this machine isn't even close to enough to clear out the area we need to get all the debris. You see, we need to make this 120 by 50 chunk wide perimeter just to fit the main mining machine that Matthew got for me. Now, since the TNT doesn't go through lava, we need to clear it out while our TNT dupers clear out the trenches for us. Now, I'm gonna try and show as much footage as I can from this, but since this is well over 100 hours, you're gonna have to check the description for some of the footage. All right, so we've been using a variety of sand dropping flying machine thingers. This way they get rid of all the lava and the TNT dupers come along and blow it up. But they all kind of suck, so this has been taking a lot longer than it should have. But we're nearly done the perimeter. All right, so now that we have this giant area mined out, we can start building the biggest machine I've ever attempted to build in my life. This chunky boy will not only remove lava, but this rear flying machine bit will blow up every block in its way using a TNT phantom glitch like we've used before. And all it needs is a little space, which is why we need to clear this giant area. And then once it's mined all the way down to bedrock, all we need to do is go down and mine all the ancient debris. Easy. Now, I'm slightly scared to start this because if I've placed one wrong block of redstone or slime or anything, the whole thing breaks and I have to redo the past 8 hours of building. Oh, cross your fingers. Oh, it works. Let us rain destruction. Now, this footage is sped up about 50 times. If I were to play it normally, this is about how fast it goes. Which, by my estimates, should mean that we have about 30 hours left before it's finished this area. Woo! Okay, well, apparently I'm horrible at math, and that only took 8 hours. Nice. Which means now it's time to mine the ancient debris. Okay, and that's the last of it. Now we have enough for the diamond bore and all the netherite armor. Okay, so now that we have all the ancient debris and supplies gathered, it's time for our final step, the diamond bore Matthew design. Okay, first we need to pick up all the supplies though. I ran out of room for the shulkers. Okay, now we need to actually find a location for the bore. This is super important because the less water or lava we run into will increase the speed that we find the diamonds. So we need to find a spot that is as water-free as we can get. Now, I found this location a few thousand blocks away, and although there are lakes nearby, there's no ocean, so that should make it easier. Okay, so step one, we need to build a canyon all the way down to bedrock. And to do that, we're going to use TNT dupers, similar to our cobblestone farm, but we'll be dropping the TNT right on the earth to, blow it up. All right, instead of nearly blowing myself up, I think that went well. Nope. But with the canyon now created, we're ready to build what I like to call the behemoth top-notch big boy Super Saiyan 9000 diamond chonker machine. Also known as, this will take 20 hours of my life to build, and if I place one wrong block, the whole machine will break. Nice. Well, let's get to work. Now, you may be wondering, this looks really similar to Cars, the other diamond record holder's design. And, well, it is. In fact, minus this backside, it's an exact copy. But mudflaps, you may ask. Didn't that diamond bore break, causing Carbs to manually, like a peasant, mine the diamonds? And to that, I would say you're right, astute viewer. And that was Matthew's task to fix. The issue that he ran into is quite simple. You see, as the machine moves forward, occasionally gravel falls on the tracks of the diamond bore, causing the TNT to not launch far enough and blows itself up. So Matthew came up with a genius idea. Make the diamond bore 120 layers tall and blow up all the gravel so it can't fall. I'm serious. That was his plan. But on the bright side, this will eat everything in its path. Then we can just go down and mine the diamonds as we go. Simple. After I've built it, that is. All right, let's start. Wow. Look at him go. This is supposed to be an epic montage. Play some music. And with that 20 seconds for you and the last 30 hours of my life, it's complete. Fun. Now, the way this machine works is not simple at all, but I'll try to explain it. These are the bores themselves. TNT is launched onto the front like so and explodes. The ancient debris absorbs the explosion, but the cobblestone in front breaks. This section is essentially a bunch of flying machines, which will push the bores one block each time. This is the timer. You see, if you fired the entire thing at once, it overloads Java itself. So the timer is set at intervals, so each layer fires at a different time. We quite literally broke the game this time. But with that, let's obliterate the world and finish this accursed challenge. Lego. Wait, what? No, I must have placed the wrong block. It's all over. This machine isn't physically possible to make. Half of it's still moving. I don't even care anymore. If this video ends with my own machine killing me, I'm done. What?
You know that machine you use to get all the netherite?
Uh-huh.
You can just use that tunnel bore for the overworld and it works perfectly fine and it's way better and it's way easier and it solves all the problems and none of this was necessary.
Matthew! This is still gonna take like 50 hours or so. Just putting that out there. Now, for those of you who are wondering why I use so many replay shots and why they're so fast, it's simple. I wanna show all the footage to prove that I actually did what I'm saying. I don't wanna just say like, oh, I spent 50 hours on this and then just skip to the end. But since my challenges are so ridiculous, I have to speed up the footage so much that people have commented that I need to warn about epilepsy and seizures. So, be warned. Okay, well that wasn't torture at all. But now we can do the most satisfying part. Set up all the diamonds to be mined with Fortune 3. This is gonna take a while to place. That just took 4 hours. But it was worth it. Now all that's left to do is turn the diamond armor to netherite. And now we just have to copy all the trims with the diamonds that we have and add them to each armor piece. Hopefully it won't take too long. Post-editing Nathan here. It took over 10 hours. Yeah, okay, back to the video. I feel like at this point, typically I'd go over the time it took and complain how long this video took to make. But honestly, spending over 500 hours of my life on this still feels so cool. As a kid making videos, you always want to be in this position where hundreds of thousands of people watch your crazy ideas. So even though I'm half brain dead now and sleep deprived, thank you all. Or at least that's what I would say if I was a simp.